Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I am Jen. This is Adarian. We are doing an introduction to the pelvic floor. More accurately, Adarian is going to do the introduction to the pelvic floor, and I am going to sit here and nod and ask questions when things aren't clear. So take it away, Adarian.
Okay. So on the pelvic floor, and like so we're going to reference, I think most of the images we're going to reference are to a female, but males are similar. There's some slight difference as far as the amount of muscle and versus extracellular matrix for females. Some difference that way. And then like you have some different, but for the general part, similarities. So we'll go from there. And everything. So let's pull up a picture of a pelvic floor. Now, the biggest thing, a lot of times we talk about pelvic floor and pelvic floor exercises. Mm-hmm. And we discussed the other day about, when we saw about where they thought the movement was coming from, yes, width-wise versus longitudinal-wise. And, right. And we were talking about it should be longitudinal versus width-wise. Mm-hmm. And then once we look at this picture, people kind of get it. But I think the biggest thing, especially if you talk about that transverse muscle, which is larger in women than men, and then also I think we watched the one where they was talking about, pulling the anus in and everything, which would be a little bit different for women, also because they have extracellular matrix around the anus versus men have more muscle around the anus and things like that. So those exercises really won't work the same for men and women just because of that the extra stuff that's going on. But here is, and I don't think the pictures we're going to see are going to show that extra stuff. I don't think it's going to show it, but we're looking for that top side. So let me go share screen. So we'll start with this picture here. And like I said, the biggest thing that we are looking at, like I said, I think the muscle everybody's concerned with is this muscle here.
And to be clear, when Adarian said that people are worried about things running widthwise, this is what he means, running from the side to the outside of the pelvis to the outside of the pelvis, correct?
Yeah, yes. And let me see if I can get a brighter color on this. Let me see that. So this one here.
Right.
So I think when they say pull things together, they're trying to pull this in and this in. Versus instead of going front to back, where we want to go this way here.
Which is running more from the pubic bone to the coccyx.
Yes, and so pull the coccyx forward and pull the pubic bones backwards. Now, the other thing about it too is, the reason this is what we look at is you notice that we have a divider here. Even this here, there's a divider. Yeah. And so, there's a division left to right, which gives us some ability to do some things independently left to right.
Right.
So, and so here is, so now you can kind of see the names of these muscles and things like that. And so like the biggest thing, like I said, is this ligament here. Mm-hmm. That divides and attaches. So now the other part is this here. Let's go to we go here to a more colorful picture. We can see these things. And so this is a nice little colorful picture that somebody did for us. And now you can start to see, why, even if you look at everything over here, that it's a front to back issue more than a width issue.
And something to note, I have noticed this when I look at pelvic floor pictures, they're rarely the same. So the orientation on this one is different than the orientation on the one that we just saw. Here we've got the coccyx on the back and the pubic bones are in the front. Like, yeah exactly.
And but we still have this split.
Yes.
And then you also, now you see this here. So, and then if we go to another one where here is the fun one. And this is probably one of the better ones, you know, because like I said, once again, you see this here. Let's go just a little bit. And I'm not going to name the muscles right now. I'm just going to point them out. But one of the things we see is this here U shape.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see another layer of a U shape. Then you see, and like I said, I think this is what everybody's talking about. So let me highlight that different. Again, this is the one I think everybody mostly talks about. So, but once again, if you look at that and you see, because this here, I think the piriformis is back here. I think that's piriformis back there. It's an angle pull. It's not a direct cross-link pull.
Which is consistent with anything that's named transverse.
Yeah.
You get a little more of an angle pull.
And then when you get in here, you start to get. So that's more of a, that's me more downward pull.
Mm-hmm.
Because of which way it pull, because you can pull bidirectionally. That's what people, that's the other part too.
Right.
I can take these and pull down, or I can take this and pull up.
Right.
And this is probably people thinking about, when you're talking about pull up, is these right here. Let me go a different color again. So when people talk about pull up into you, it's going to be this here, because they can go either way.
Right.
So, but now we back to, let's go. I want to go this way. I want to pull this way, this way on the left side, this way, this way on the other side. So I can get a shift now.
Right.
Or I can try and just pull this forward.
Yep.
You know, so, and you see there's still muscles in here. So if you want to, so when people talk about, you know, cutting off leakage, it's going to be here. Let me make this kind of cool. Oh, let me go this way here. Where, watch this. This is going to be kind of cool. Where you go here and think about this here. Oh, that's not dark enough. Watch this. So you can cross that one.
Right.
Like tie it off like a bow. Versus trying to squeeze in.
Right.
So there's some cool things going on in this process. That if you look at the fibers, how they run, the structure, how they run, we can way more than what we've been told to do as far as just cross, you know, widthwise. A widthwise type thing, or just pull up. You know, there's so many more things you can do besides just pull up when you're dealing with the pelvic floor muscles. And then that would get us into how we can actually help use pelvic floor muscles to help us move, which nobody's talking about. Nobody's really talking about how we can use these things to help us move. Or like you said, when somebody's oriented to the left or to the right, you know, how the pelvic floor muscles is situated to make you be left or right, you know. And I think that's probably the biggest missing point of anything is how these things can help us actually move about versus, you know, just stopping leakage.
And one of the things about the pelvic floor muscles that I really appreciated when I was learning them way back in undergrad is the names of them are exactly where they attach. And when you start looking at them from that perspective as well, it's exactly what you're saying. Like you can really start to figure out, like, how can I manipulate this? The pubococcygeus, for instance, runs from the pubic bone to the coccyx. Right. So if you know you've got that, like, okay, well, how can I manipulate that, right?
Yeah. And so that becomes the fun part is how you can, make yourself move a certain way based on if you just think split, I'm split in half.
Right.
And I'm going to move a left half and a right half. Do I move them together? Do I move them separately? Do I move them same direction? Different, but it becomes a different take on things because the base is two halves that are being hung together with these muscles.
Right.
So that's base. And then if you look on the back up, there's some ligaments, there's some things going on, like say piriformis, you got some other things going on. But for the most part, this thing is hung together with these two halves, these muscles on both halves.
Right.
So, but that was my little brief introduction too.
Perfect. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. If you're interested in learning more, the pelvic floor course will be out soon. Otherwise, keep following us on YouTube and you'll continue to get good content. Talk soon.